Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about keyboarding. And as a reminder, these videos are a little shorter for students who missed class or are just getting registered for the class right now. Speaking of the word class, remember when we go under classwork, we have all of the materials and assignments that we need. So we've gone through the fall orientation. Yesterday, we did the welcome packet and PowerPoint, and now today we're going to be looking at keyboarding technique. So let's take a look at keyboarding. As we talked yesterday about word processing and the keyboard itself, this image on our screen is very familiar to us. Even if we would look down on our laptop or computer desktop, we would see a keyboard like this. This is actually called the QWERTY keyboard. What an odd name. Why it is called the QWERTY keyboard is if you look at that top row, that's where we get it from. Now, clicking on this link gives you a lot of information about the history of the QWERTY keyboard, which is really, really neat. And if you have time, please take a look. Otherwise, I am going to just give you a recap. The home row, and yesterday I asked you to put your fingers on home row without actually identifying them. So what does home row mean? It means that your left hand and fingers are on the A, S, D, F. Then your right hand, your right fingers are on the J, K, L, and colon. Your thumbs are on the space bar. This keyboard has been the standard keyboard for over 100 years. It was invented by Christopher Sholes, and it was the first typewriters. If you remember the picture in our welcome packet, when you would type, the letter would actually fly up and then hit the paper, almost like an ink pad stamp. And what happened is when people started increasing their speed, the letters would get jammed. For instance, like an ST. So Christopher Sholes said, we need to stop this. And he created the QWERTY keyboard, and it was debuted in 1874. But then, our world is full of competition. A new keyboard was introduced. Now take a look at this picture. Have you seen this keyboard ever? This keyboard is called the Dvorak keyboard. And once again, I have a resource when you have time to take a look at all of this, which is really neat. But for right now, I'm going to summarize. Notice home row is in the same place, but the letters are different on the Dvorak keyboard. We have the A, O, E, U, and the H, T, and S. So why did he develop this? Well, and who is he? He's Dr. August Dvorak, and he wanted to eliminate not only keys jamming, but maximizing typing efficiency. What he found is the QWERTY keyboard wasn't very fast, and he wanted to make it more equal for the left and the right hand. And this was debuted in the 1930s. So just taking a look at these two keyboards and using the word minimum, kind of practice what you see. Okay, so here, if we would spell minimum on the QWERTY keyboard, we had an M-I-N-I-M-U-M. Wait a minute, what do you notice? Your entire right hand is used. We come over to the Dvorak keyboard and spell minimum, M-I-N-I-M-U-M. U-M. Do you notice the difference is that the left and right hand are equally used? So why don't we see the Dvorak keyboard? Why do we see the QWERTY keyboard all over? Well, too many people use QWERTY. We just don't like change that much, do we? It would be very expensive to get rid of all of the equipment, and really the equipment meaning the keyboard, to replace them all with the Dvorak. So we continue to use the QWERTY. Let's talk about keyboarding technique, and we have an image right down here. We briefly talked about the mouse yesterday and how to properly hold the mouse. We're going to continue. So when we are sitting at our desktop or even our laptop, we should have our feet flat on the floor for balance. We don't have legs crossed, ankles crossed. They're both on the floor. Your body is erect, meaning you are sitting straight up. And really, even your lower back, notice this, is touching the back of the chair. Our wrists are low, but they're not touching the keyboard or touching the table. They're parallel with the mouse and the keyboard, and our forearms are also parallel. Okay, so we're trying to get into a comfortable position. Keystroking. So we talked very briefly about home row, and when we put our fingers on home row and we strike the different keys, it should be a light tap and our fingers curved, not straight, but keeping our fingers, the other fingers, on home row when we're not using them, kind of like a central location. Using the space bar and the return or enter key, that we would use the right thumb in a quick down and in motion. We want to try to avoid pauses before or after spacing and just really trying to be fluid. And we'll show you a short video of what we mean by this. Eyes on copy, keeping your eyes not looking at the keyboard, but looking at the monitor or looking at the piece of paper or report that you're typing from. And as I mentioned before, an even fluent space. There is a video, it's about 5 minutes long, that recaps all of what I've been talking about. So if you would like to watch this video, you absolutely can. I'm not going to today for time's sake. So this is putting it together, what fingers should be on the home row. Then you can kind of see that the pinky should not only have the A, but use the Q, use the Z. The right middle finger would be on K, and they would also strike the I and the comma. What we would like you to do is a self-assessment. And before you do this self-assessment, 2 things. I'm going to show you this short video of a man typing. And this is proper technique. He goes on his phone and he comes back, but just kind of showing you what our goal is. Not to hunt and peck, but notice how he's back on home row. All right, I'm going to go back to where our Google Classroom is. And I mentioned this keyboarding technique, and it's found right here. This is also found in your packet that you picked up. What we would like you to do is rate yourself. Do you sit back in the chair? Do you not slouch? Is the chair adjusted? If you feel like you're pretty okay with that, then 3. If you feel like you're really good and work on your posture all the time, 5. If you know that, oops, I do slouch, maybe you're 2 or 1. Feet flat on the floor, same thing. Are you crossing your legs or ankles a lot? Or are they both feet on the floor? There's no right or wrong answer with this. This is just taking a look at how you feel that you're doing. All right? So that is what we'd like you to do, is to fill this out. Then in addition, I'm going to come back to our classwork. We are going to get to typingclub.com. These are directions on how to create an account, but I will also show you this on the video. So it says open a browser and type typingclub.com. I am just going to open up a new window, and notice when I start typing, it comes up. So I'm just going to hit the enter key because it'll bring me there. Now it talks about, and you can come here and get started here. It has all this information, but I'm going to click on log in. Oh, and now it's going to bring me into a login page. What is so neat with our Gmail account is that we can sign in to Typing Club with our Google. So we're just going to click on here. I'm going to do my Essential Skills email, and notice it's connected me. And all I have to do, now there's some ads that are somewhat annoying. Nope, we don't want to pay. And we're going to click on Start, and we'll go to number 1. And this is a video. When we get done with that, then we'll go to number 2, and it tells us the keys. And I'm going to click on this to show you. It'll give you a And this is really nice because it does videos showing you the fingers, and then you will actually do practice on your own. All right, so let's get those fingers warmed up and increase our keyboarding speed and technique.